Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. My name is Elric. This is part 2 of the creating or automating the creation of our select, insert, update views. In this video, we are going to be creating the process that will use the data that we created in the last video, because we are creating a data-driven system and we need those views to control the flow and access to data. So I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we want to modify the dataset view base create that we created in 22 and rename it to, instead of base, we're going to say definition create single. And then we're going to add the definition name to this procedure. So we're going to get the dataset ID and the definition name, and the definition name will be select, insert, update, or delete. So for most of this code is the same, but we need to take the base view and put it in the from statement, and then replace base in the drop and create clause with definition name. So when we pass in select, it's going to look for underscore select view. And same thing with insert, update, and delete. For the data points, we need to exclude specific data points, or more realistically, we have created a whitelist for data points allowed, and we're going to use the the system relationship table to filter out what data point type IDs we want. So I'm just going to attach db system main to all these tables because we're really close to creating our synonyms, and then I'll work backwards with the realm. So definition is the parent to data point type, which is the child. It's a functional relationship. These two items are directly related to each other, and these things are a member of this relationship. So I'll just take ref and rename it to rel because our relationship's under a different name, and call the child because data point type is the second in the realm. So that means the parent, the primary key parent, should be in the definition table because that's what the relationship realm tells us. The parent is definition, the child is data point type. So I will use the RCFT base snippet again to call the definition structure, and I'll just add db system main to all these tables and work on the realm class family type backwards. So this is a system definition that deals with objects. That specific object, it's a common definition, and they are referencing views. So then I'll say, and my definition is in here, but the key name of the definition will be the incoming definition name. So this is how we create the two relationships. The string name coming back from the data point type will only be in those relationships that we created in the last video. So now I get to take away the as statement because we're calling the base view, and then I have to add one more replace statement for the definition name, and essentially we are done. Because we've already written the code, it's pretty easy to expand upon it. But there's a little difference between base and definitions, and that's why I don't want to try to force yourself or force us into one way or one giant script that will, with an if statement. So now I'm going to create another procedure that's going to create all the definitions that we have. There we go. And it's going to take a dataset ID and create the select, insert, update, delete views. So we can get rid of all of this and create a cursor. We'll just call it definition view cursor. We'll call system main definition table. And we'll get the definition name and the definition ID from it. Oh. I'm just undoing that. I forgot ref. Sometimes I do that. So ref definition, there we go. We're just say, and the definition type ID is in system object common view. So in a later point in time, we'll come back to this procedure and we'll iterate through system object view definitions and check to see if the data set has a custom version before we run the object, or before we pass it to the definition create single procedure. And that's because, well, I mean, for the most part, we shouldn't have any custom definitions. However, if we're adding other databases to this system, like AdventureWorks or Wide World Importers, or any external database, we might have different definitions for the view creations for them. Just because they're not in our system doesn't mean that they have their own special rules in terms of like they don't have to have these views. But maybe we add SQL data types into our data point type and say, hey, you're going to have to choose a different relationship because we don't allow SQL data types. External databases or external to our system databases could. So I'm going to create a cursor and just create all of these insert, update, and select views because I have some time. So I'm going to cursor through everything in dataset right now. There we go. Then I'm just going to execute the definition all. Definition create all procedure that we just finished creating, and send the dataset ID. So I'm gonna go over the system main, just all we have for base views. I'm gonna run it. It's finished. Boom. And we have all of our views, and we can select from these views, and you could see that the columns returned are limited in comparison. So yeah, it looks like we have all of our views. Thank you very much for watching. That's about it for this video. In the next video, we're going to create functions, I believe, so we can get to synonyms. And yeah, we are well on our way. So remember, like this video if you want YouTube to recommend it to users in our industry, and subscribe to support me. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.